and I'm absolutely dying over her demanding that Insta handle. What? Okay, so that internet thug goes by the name of Catherine Drizzik, but she had changed her name to Catherine. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to spell it for you. It's Catherine Asplundi.
So this is the restaurant.
So that's her new
This
name.
is
The influencer's curse, wanting everything but having nothing. Making offers without real value, driven by questionable entitlement. Can a life curated for others really be lived? With the world revolving around our online presence today, we've also seen a shift in the way we perceive one another. As a teenager of today, I've certainly felt these pressures and have firsthand noticed the way that social media has impacted our view of self through the lens of others. With 4.9 billion people in social media worldwide as of 2024, its influence continues to grow, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Central to social media is the influencer. Traditionally, an influencer is someone who exerts influence or inspires one's actions. However, in the context of social media, the definition has shifted to a person who can generate interest in something, such as consume a product by posting about it on social media. This shift reflects a departure from authenticity to focus on commercial gain and personal profitability. Building a brand or name for yourself isn't inherently wrong, but when it becomes entangled with entitlement and extreme pursuits of personal gain, it certainly raises ethical questions, leading to implications on how we, as a collective, perceive one another. Whilst researching for this video, I came across a really interesting statistic, and it came from the 2022 High Visibility Survey, and it states that 1 in 4 Gen Zs plan to become social media influencers. To be completely honest, I would be lying if I said I wasn't one of them at one stage or another. And sure, taking pictures and videos, accepting lavish brand deals as a full-time career sounds amazing. However, it feels like at some stage we need to remember the original meaning of influence, and that is to inspire and guide the actions of others. Many inspiring and uplifting creators do contribute well, but sometimes possessing influence can distort one's perspective and how they compose themselves for many to consume. And we need to be careful who we give platforms to. The perspective of entitlement some influencers behold is beyond me, but it really does make for great entertainment. A case I've recently seen involves an Australian Melbourne-based creator with only 8,000 followers. She was exposed by the vegetarian restaurant Patsy's in Melbourne after approaching them to collaborate. I forgot to include this part, but here's a video of her response after her interaction with this restaurant. So here you go.
This is a PSA for all creators who work with food, travel, lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. I received the most horrible message yesterday from a restaurant wanting to work with them, and I need to make you aware so you guys never work with them and know your standard. So this is the restaurant. This is the restaurant. Please don't go send them any messages, but they said the most disgusting thing back to me. So I am a travel, lifestyle, fashion kind of food creator. I have 2 separate accounts. I have like a food travel account and I have my fashion account, and I make it aware that I'm the owner of this travel account from the fashion one. Just for reference, so you know what's happening. I basically use the same sort of template for every restaurant and like company that I send stuff to, but then I make it personal and tell them what I think they're missing, what I can do for them, and the uniqueness of their brand. So I sent one to this restaurant. Now I already sent other ones. I've never had a problem with it ever. And then they turn around to my message and said this. I'll edit in the photo. They said this. And I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I had no words. I was actually like disgusted that someone could say that to another person. Like, this is clearly someone not in marketing. They don't understand literally anything. Your account and content is never ever about the follow account. That was gone out the window yonks ago. It matters about your audience, your engagement, your reach. And my engagement and reach, considering I have a small follow account, is really, really good. So like, I've never had a problem with this before in my life, and they turn around and say, oh, let us know when you have 100k. Cool, I could have 100k and I'm having 2 people comment and 1 person save. What, like, is that what you want? And then the second message where they tell me I'm pretending to be influential, but that's not the point. The point is to get people to go through creating fun, loving content. It's to, like, yes, it's to influence them to go, but that could pop up on the For You page and get over 1 million views while I have 300 followers. That's really not how it works. But I was just disgusted in the way that they said it. I think that's what actually pissed me off more. Like, the fact that they were so unprofessional about it. They literally could have said to me straight up, even if it was a lie, just be like, sorry, we don't have any room for collaborations right now. We'll let you know in the future. But no, they had to say this. And I just wanted to let you all know, I wasn't going to out them originally, but I put on my Instagram story. I had over 60 people respond, like, with messages, and over 1,000 people saw the Instagram story of me saying it. And everyone said to name and shame them, because more, not to say they're a bad brand and they're bad people, like, obviously I've never even been there, but to say how rude they are with their professionalism and their creativeness with their creators. So I want no other creator to work with them. Don't go sending them hate, but if they ever reach out to you, don't do it. Like, that, know your standards. Like, I'm sorry, I know I've been ranting, but I'm disgusted. Never, ever again.
I'm really not sure what she expected to happen from uploading these videos. It wasn't like the restaurant was going to come down to its knees and apologise. So this draws me to the conclusion that it was for marketing purposes to grow her social presence through rage bait, which is a very interesting topic within itself. What surprised me most about this situation was her attempt to shame the restaurant owners. She may have taken offence to the messages exchanged, but at the end of the day, this is someone's livelihood, and they supported their stance with pretty good reason, in my opinion. The restaurant owners responded to her in a newspaper interview saying her followers are not people that we have in the venue often and probably not the market we are looking to engage with. I think she was just hoping to increase her visibility with these outrage posts. It sort of has worked already, but I'm not sure if it will be monetized as marketing. To this statement, the influencer defended her video, speaking to the Daily Mail Australia. When I first outed the restaurant on TikTok, it reached the wrong audience of non-creators and the influencers who didn't understand what was happening. Sure, she may have felt offended by the restaurant's response, but it seems like there was no real attempts to offer value to the restaurant. Utilizing a template when approaching the restaurant can be just as distasteful. My opinion, and from what I have gathered, it doesn't seem like she really aligned with the restaurant to begin with. So, was there really anything on offer from her end? This case raises an interesting point. Do we see our followers' counts as resources and no longer see the people or businesses around us for what they are, but instead for what they can give us? The blurred lines between genuine engagement and self-serving promotion create unclear distinctions between authentic and meaningful interactions on social media, and the promotional activities for personal self-gain. As a result, putting the responsibility of influence to waste, as personal gain begins to override the perception of others, and the potential damage our influence can impose on them. However, that's a whole nother video, so let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. After some more research, I've come to realise how influencer culture does affect people at work or in the business. The Reddit submission from Tales from Your Server highlights its implications based off a real example they've given from working in the food industry. Does anyone else deal with entitled influencers? Tonight, we had an 8-top reservation for an influencer, free first round of drinks, free apps and a margarita pitcher. Already, that's about 120. They ended up being 15 people instead of 8. They sat on the patio and moved the chairs and tables in a way that made it impossible for me to move around them to bring them drinks and food, etc., etc. I wasn't able to take any tables besides them because they were extremely high maintenance, having me run back and forth every single time I stopped by the table. I was sweating so bad from running my ass off for 2 hours straight that I had to get a new shirt and change mid-shift. They ended up with $350 tab. After comps, it was $130. They left me $25. They weren't even big foodie influencers either. 5k followers, uninspired content. I'm just so sick of these people coming in and getting all this food for free, working our asses off only to ultimately waste our time. Never have had a good experience with any of them. Look, I genuinely believe that sometimes influencers can add value to a business when implemented well. However, in cases like these, it makes you question who we're giving platforms to. Again, I would like to reiterate that this isn't all influencers, yet some exhibit entitlement and should be rightfully called out for this ridiculous behaviour and ultimately held responsible. In this particular case, it can be questioned whether or not their perceived influence was worth the actual benefits of free goods, whether this was a transaction of value or an attempt at a perceived offer of value. It should also be considered how entitlement affects those around us, and how follower count should not equate to a sense of superiority over others in the real world. So, the influencer's curse. Wanting everything, but having nothing. It quickly becomes dangerous to our culture as perceptions of one another are tainted by blending the social media world with the real world. I could go more in depth with this topic, so let me know if you like this, and any feedback would be awesome as this is my first video. Alright, thank you and see you next time.